Good morning. Today we are going to look at the multiplication of polynomials. Yesterday we covered the definition of polynomials. What is a polynomial? And how do we plus and minus with polynomials? Today we're going to focus on multiplication of polynomials. So today we are going to focus on multiplication of polynomials. Let's look at the example. Number 1, 5x to the power of 5th multiplied by 6x to the power of 7. We talk about multiplying polynomials today. Look at the number 1. Look at the expression. 5x to the power of 5th. Is that a monomial? Let's recall the definition of a monomial yesterday. Is a 5x to the power of 5th a monomial? The blue, yes. What's the coefficient? Coefficient. The number in front of the variable part, right? What is it? Okay. What's the degree? Degree is the exponent on the shoulder of the variable base. It's also 5 in this case, right? Very good. And look at the expression in the parentheses. I have it in green. 6 times x to the power of 7. Is that expression also a monomial? 6 times x to the power of 7. Yeah. What's the coefficient of the monomial? 6. Yeah, 6. Coefficient is 6. What's the degree? Degree is 7. Very good. So we are multiplying two monomials here. So this example shows us how to multiply two monomials. Yeah, this example shows you how do you multiply two monomials. If you need to know how do I multiply two monomials, look at this example. Okay, let me show you how. When we multiply two monomials, we multiply their corresponding parts. Coefficient times coefficient. Variable part times variable part. So a monomial times a monomial, that is one product, right? In the one product, we have two constant factors, factor 5, factor 6. We have two variable factors, x to the power 5, x to the power 7. We know the order of factors in a product doesn't matter, right? For example, 2 times 3 is the same with 3 times 2. We can rearrange the order of the factors in the multiplication. So we can write the expression as 5 times 6. 5 times 6. Yeah, we can switch the order of those two factors. So we put the 5 and 6 together, and we put the x to the power of 5th and x to the power of 7 together. So once again, so we switch the order of the factors in the product. We put the two numerical part together and the two variable part together. And then we associate with 5 times 6. Coefficient times coefficient. 5 times 6 gives us 30. And then let's look at the variable part. X to the power of 5th times x to the power of 7. We are multiplying two powers with the same base. We are multiplying two powers with the same base. Which formula should we apply here? In the past 2 days, we covered all the 7 formulas, right? When we multiply two powers with the same base, what formula should we apply? Product rule, exactly. Product rule. How do we apply it? We keep the base, and what do we do with the exponents? Add them together, right? Yeah, okay, so we have x to the power of 5 plus 7. When we multiply two powers with the same base, we keep the base and add up the two exponents. What's 5 plus 7? 12. So answer is 30 multiplied by x to the power of 12. Look at the answer. Look at the result. The product of the two monomials is also a monomial, right? Obvious. Yeah. So you know when you multiply two monomials, your answer, your result should be a monomial as well. And how do you get this monomial? You multiply the two monomials corresponding parts. Coefficient is coefficient. Variable part times variable part, and that's it. Okay? Very good. And now I want you to tell me what's the degree of the blue polynomial, which is a monomial. What's the degree of the monomial 5x to the power 5? 5, yeah. And what's the degree of the green monomial? 6x to the power 7. 7, okay. So the blue has degree 5. The green has degree 7. And what's the degree of the yellow? The product, 12, yeah, okay. So you can see we have this fact. The degree of the first polynomial plus the degree of the second polynomial happen to be the same with the degree of the product. And that is not a coincidence. You will see this pattern over and over again later. So we have this here. We'll look at that again later for the degrees. So the first example shows us how do we multiply two monomials. The product of two monomials is still a monomial. How do we multiply two monomials? We multiply their corresponding parts. Coefficient times coefficient. Variable part times the variable part. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? And let's see the second problem. Second problem is 4x multiplied by parentheses negative 8x cubed plus 8x squared. Okay, let's see what's this example. This blue polynomial is a monomial. Do you agree? It's a monomial, right? And let's see what's inside the parentheses. The green part, what kind of polynomial that is? The green. Monomial, binomial, trinomial? What type of a polynomial the green polynomial is? Binomial, two terms, right? Okay, so this example shows you how to multiply a monomial by a binomial. Every example has its purpose, okay? Yeah, every example has its purpose. So this example, we're gonna see how do we multiply a monomial, the blue one, by a binomial, the green one. Let me show you how. When we multiply a monomial by a binomial, we apply distributive property. Let me write the distributive property for you. Distributive property, A times parentheses B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. Okay, yeah. A here is the coefficient of the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we have two members, B and C. When we remove the parentheses, the coefficient multiply each single term or each single member in the parentheses. That's distributive property we learned from chapter 1. Same as we're gonna use the same rule here to multiply a monomial by a binomial. So you're gonna see 4x as the coefficient of the parentheses. And inside the parentheses, we have two terms, right? So we're going to use the 4x to multiply negative ax cubed plus 4x multiplied by ax squared. Is that clear? Okay, so we're going to use the monomial outside the parentheses to multiply each single term inside the parentheses. We would have 4x multiplied by negative 8x cubed plus 4x multiplied by ax squared. So the blue polynomial, which is a monomial, outside the parentheses, multiply each single term in a binomial. So far, so good? Same with distributive property, right? All right. We are going to simplify in next step. Let's look at the first term, 4x multiplied by negative ax cubed. No, this is not minus, okay? You are not looking at 4x minus ax cubed. You are looking at 4x multiplied by negative ax cubed. So this is a product. This is a monomial. This is a monomial. So this is a product of two monomials. How do you multiply two monomials? How do you multiply two monomials? You multiply their corresponding parts, right? Yeah. 4 and negative 8, numerical part. What's the product of 4 and negative 8? 4 times negative 8. Yeah, negative, very good, negative 32. And then multiply the variable part, x times x cubed. What is x times x cubed? What is x times x cubed? X times x cubed. X cubed is 1, 2, 3. That's x cubed, right? X times x cubed gives you what? To the power of what? 4. Exactly. Right? So x times x cubed. So this is a 1. Plot the rule again, keep the base, add the exponents. So we have x to the power 4th, right? So that's okay? Okay, we're not done yet. The second term, we are looking at a product of two monomials. Monomial 4x and monomial 8x squared. Again, how do we multiply two monomials? We multiply their corresponding parts, right? Every monomial has a coefficient, has the variable part. Yeah, we multiply their corresponding parts. 4 times 8. What is the 4 times 8? What is the 4 times 8? Very good. And what is x times x squared? Cube. Very good. Yeah, it's easy. X squared is 1, 2. So in total you have 3, right? So x cubed. And that's the answer. When you multiply a monomial by a binomial, your answer is a binomial. Okay. Could you tell me what's the degree of the green monomial? Degree of the green. Degree of the green. Degree of the blue, I'm sorry. Degree of the blue monomial. 4x. What's the degree of 4x? 1. Very good. What's the degree of the green binomial? Degree of a polynomial is the biggest exponent. 3, right? And what's the degree of the product? The degree of the product we just got. What is it? 4. Do you see this again? Yeah, you multiply two polynomials, you get a product, right? Turns out the degree of the product is the sum of the degrees of the two polynomials in the multiplication. Yeah, it's a fact. It's not a coincidence. This rule always applies. So the number 2, we saw how do we multiply a monomial by binomial. So I want you to practice the next problem. I want you to try number 3. In number 3, you are going to multiply a monomial by a trinomial. Let me see the trinomial. Negative 4x squared plus x minus 2, right? Plus x minus 2. Okay, so look at our example 2 and work on example 3 on your own. Example 2 shows you how do you multiply a monomial by binomial, right? And number 3, the two polynomials. One is a monomial. The other is 1, 2, 3 trinomial. Yeah, what do you think you should, how do you process this? You are multiplying a monomial by a trinomial. It should be similar with earlier, right? So let me give you the method. You are going to distribute as well here, distribute. You are going to distribute. And you are going to multiply the blue monomial by all the three terms in the green. I'll give you a couple minutes. Could you please work on that? The monomial outside the parentheses. Multiply each single term in the parentheses. So you should have three terms in the expansion. Multiply the monomial -6x squared by every single term in the trinomial. Your answer should have three terms. In the multiplication, you have three terms. Okay, so that's good. 6, 2, 2. Good job. Very good. Any progress? Yeah, in the distribute, your expansion should have three terms. Negative times negative, yeah, positive. And negative times positive, you should have negative, right? Like, with the sum. That is the 6 or 8 times. Okay, you did that part correct. Perfect. So knowing you have three terms in expansion, the product. Okay. Yeah, you use this monomial to multiply each term in the trinomial. Yeah, you add them up. I would recommend you write more details. I notice you want to get a result in one step. That's not a good idea. I don't even do that. See that? Yeah, I could have, but I don't do that because it's likely to make a mistake if you try to do everything in your head. Show you. We use the blue monomial -6x squared to multiply each single term in the green trinomial, right? You have this multiplied by -4x squared. Do you see? Do you have this step? Plus -6x squared times x plus -6x squared times -2. I don't see you guys have this step. You should, okay? Yeah, use the blue binomial to multiply each single term in a green trinomial. You simplify in the next step. The first part, two monomials multiply together. -6 times -4, positive 24, right? X squared times x squared. So this way you see the better. X squared times x squared. By the product rule, we have used the product rule a few times today. Yeah, x squared is 2x. X squared is another 2x multiplied together. So in total you have 4, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. And then we move to the next term. -6 times 1, 6. X squared times x cubed, right? X squared times x cubed. And the last part, -6 times -2, positive. Negative times negative is positive. Positive 12. And then x squared. Bring it down. Do you have the same thing? Angela, do you see that? Yeah. I have this step. You see that? I hope you do too. Yeah, I see you try to get an answer like in one step. If you are, sometimes you might be able to make it, but I don't recommend. You should have the details. Any questions? So what if I ask you to multiply a monomial by a polynomial with 4 terms or four terms or 5 terms or even more terms? Do you know how to do that? Simply just distribute, okay? Yeah, same idea. I showed you monomial multiplied by a binomial in number 2. Monomial multiplied by a trinomial in number 3. So you can generalize it. You know how to multiply a monomial by any kind of polynomial. Okay, just distribute. Any questions? Let's see for number 3. What's the degree of the blue? Degree of the blue. 2. What's the degree of the green? What's the degree of the yellow, the product? You see it again, right? Okay, number 4. Number 4, we are going to learn a very important technique. Very important technique. Huh? One second, sorry. 9x minus. What is it? Oh, I'm trying to show you the pattern. I showed you the pattern twice already. Let's look at the first one. You are multiplying 2 monomials, right? You are multiplying by green. You have the yellow. We are observing their degrees. The degree of the blue is 5, right? Degree of the green is 7, right? Degree of the product is 12. So the degree of the blue plus the degree of the green gives you degree of the product. That is a fact. And I'll show you the same thing for number 2. In number 2, the blue binomial has degree 1, right? The green binomial has degree 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4, and that's the degree of the product. So you see that again. For number 3, the same thing. Monomial, degree 2, right? The blue, yeah. Trinomial degree 2 as well. 2 plus 2 is 4. So before even you process the multiplication, you should know the degree of your result. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's the answer. You do not have to write it in the standard form. No, yesterday we learned the standard form, right? Yeah, this is degree 4, so we are missing x squared and a constant, but you don't have to worry about that. But the purpose I show you this pattern or this fact, because when you take the test or assignments, you have all the problems are multiple choice questions, right? So you have 4 answer choices. For example, you have this problem. The blue binomial multiplied by the green trinomial. And before you actually process the product, you should know your answer has degree 4, right? And when you look at ABCD, if you see an answer has degree 3 or degree 5, you can just eliminate it right away. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, I'm going to show you a very important technique. It's called a FOIL. You might remember this. What do we do with FOIL? We apply FOIL to multiply 2 binomials. So in number 4, I'm going to show you how do you multiply 2 binomials. How do we multiply 2 binomials? The method we are going to learn is called a FOIL. Okay? What is F mean? F means first. O here refers to outside. I here refers to inside. L here means refers to last. Okay, FOIL. F refers to first. O stands for outside. I here is the initial of inside. L here means last. Let me show you how do we multiply two binomials by using for you. And I hope you use my method. I mean, you write whatever I write. Yeah, try not to skip any steps. Let's get started. Let me first show you how do you understand first, outside, inside, and last. We are multiplying two binomials, right? In the first parenthesis, you have two terms, correct? In the second parenthesis, you also have two terms. So in total, how many terms do you have? 4, yeah. First means 7x and 9x in this case. Because 7x is the first term in the first parenthesis. 9x is the first term in the second parenthesis. So that is the first. So once again, what is outside? We have 4 terms in total, right? If you look at the 4 terms, which 2 terms are on the outside? 7x and then 4, they are on the outside, right? Okay, and then you know 8 and 9x, those 2 terms are on the inside. So that is the outside and the inside. What is the last? The first binomial, last term is 8, term in the first parenthesis. And inside the second parenthesis, the last term is -4. So that is so-called FOIL. Let me show you. How do I do for you? I will firstly draw a parenthesis. First times first plus outside times outside plus inside times inside plus last times last. So I recommend you please do the same thing. Yeah, firstly draw a parenthesis. The first 2 parentheses multiply together and then plus those 2 parentheses multiply together. And we have 4 terms. FOIL, 4 terms. Yeah, each term is a product of 2 things. So this is FFOOIILL. Okay, what are the 2 first terms? I showed you earlier. First. Am I right? Okay, so you're gonna put them here. First. So once again. Okay, and then outside. I showed you the 2 outside, right? 4 terms. Those 2 terms are on the outside. So you put them here. Outside. And those 2 terms are in the inside. So you're gonna put them here. 8 and 9x multiplied together is inside. Last. The last term in the first parenthesis and the last term in the second parenthesis. So you have 8 and -4. Yeah, be careful with the sign. -4 is 1 term. The negative sign is a part of the term. Okay? Yeah, -4 is the second term, the last term of the second parenthesis. So once again. First. Outside. Inside. Last. And then we're going to simplify in next step. Let's see first times first. That's monomial times monomial, right? Yeah. The example we went over today is how do we multiply 2 monomials? How do we multiply the 2 monomials? 7, 9, x. We multiply their corresponding parts, right? Okay, numerical part. What is 7 times 9? 7 times 9. Huh? X times x. Yeah, very good. Perfect. Okay, that's the first term. Outside. 7x times -4. Positive or negative? Angela. Positive or negative? Positive 7x times -4. Negative, okay. 7 times 4, 28. Bring down x, right? So that's good? Okay. Inside. 8 times 9. So 2. Bring down x. Last term, 8 times -4. Positive or negative? Yeah. make sure you know this is 8 times 94. This is not a minus 4, okay? This is 8 times 94. Okay, look at this result. Do we have anything to combine? Those two terms are like terms, right? Let's combine them. We copy 63 x squared. The two terms in yellow, negative 28, 72, combine them. What do we have? Calculator. Yeah, negative 28 plus 72. What do you have? 44, right? Yes or no? Are you with me? And that's the answer, okay? The answer is a quadratic trinomial. Degree is 3 terms, 44x minus 32. So once again, that is for you, okay? And can you tell me, in this product we have a polynomial in blue, the other polynomial is in green. This is the product. Can you tell me the degree of the blue? Sammy, what's the degree of the blue? Yeah, degree of the green. So the answer should have degree what? 2, yeah, and it is degree 2, right? Very good. Let's try, that's for you. I can show you another method. Actually, the other method I learned from my student is called George. It says like, this is left eyebrow, this is right eyebrow, this is nose or mouth, this is chin. And the boy is called George and he's smiling at you. Okay? So doesn't matter, you can use this method or this method. Let me show you what does it mean, the left eyebrow. Left eyebrow means 7x multiplied by 9x. Actually, it's the first, right? Right eyebrow is the last times the last, right? The nose actually is inside. The chin actually is outside. Actually, it's the same thing. It's just maybe this is it's easier to remember. And I didn't learn any of those. The way I learn it, just in case you learn the same way, is I do this. That's the way I learn. Okay? It really doesn't matter. But I would recommend you try this method. Okay? FOIL, for you. Very important. Everybody should know after they take algebra class. They should know what is the FOIL method. So when do we apply FOIL method? What do we apply FOIL method for? We multiply what? Two binomials. Yeah. So FOIL means first, outside, inside, last. We have 16 minutes. Let me see. Do we have time to practice? Can you practice one? Can you try to do this one? Practice. Try this. Multiply x plus 9 by x minus 7. You can use George or you can use FOIL, right? Give you 2 minutes. What's the degree of the product supposed to be? Your answer is supposed to have degree what? Huh? May I take a look? Oh, so sorry. Yeah, good. Yeah, I see most of you get it. That's very good. Yeah, we can try George in this case. Left eyebrow, right eyebrow, nose and chin. He's a happy boy. Okay. Left eyebrow is first times first actually, right? X times X. Right eyebrow, 9 times -7. What is 9 times -7? What is 9 times -7? Nose is 9x. What about the chin? The chin actually is outside, right? X times -7. I will simplify next up. X times X, X squared. 9 times -7, -63. Bring down 9x. X times -7 is -7x. So you have x squared. 9x minus 7x gives you 2x and minus 63. Okay, make sure you have the same result. Okay, all right, that's for you. Very, very important. Very, very important. Be careful with the sign. And number 5. Let's see what example. We're gonna try this one. Number 5. We're going to see how do we multiply 9x plus 7 by 8x squared plus 3x plus 8. Yeah, we're going to see how to multiply what type of polynomial that is. Monomial, binomial, trinomial? Binomial, right? Yeah. What about the second polynomial? Trinomial. So I'm going to show you how to multiply a binomial by a trinomial. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to show you how do you multiply a binomial by a trinomial. Okay, before that, I want to show you another pattern. Let's go from the first problem. I want to show you another pattern. Let's look at the first problem we have done earlier. Look at the first problem. How many terms in the monomial? How many terms in the monomial? monomial, think about one term, right? Okay. How many terms in the green? Everybody, how many terms in the green? How many terms in the green? 1 is a monomial, right? What is 1 times 1? What is 1 times 1? 1. And that's how many terms in the product. I'm showing you a pattern, another pattern. The pattern helps you to determine how many terms in the expansion when you multiply out the two polynomials, okay? Yeah. The first polynomial has one term, 1, multiplied by the number of the second term, second polynomial. Number of terms in the second polynomial gives you the number of terms in the expansion. 1 times 1 is 1, right? Do they match? Yes? Okay. Let's see number 2. Let's see number 2, the blue monomial, how many terms in it? 1 term, right? How many terms in the green? 2. Binomial, right? Okay. 1 times 2 equals what? 2. You see, you do have 2 terms in the product, right? I showed you another time, the same thing. Number 3. How many terms in the blue? 1 terms, right? How many terms in the green? 3 terms. So the result does have 3 terms, right? Do you see that? So you multiply the number of terms in 2 polynomials, you will know how many terms in the expansion. Okay, number 4. How many terms in the blue? 2, yeah. 2 terms in the blue. How many terms in the green? So the expansion have 4 terms, right? Before you simplify, you do have 4 terms. Of course, after you simplify, you have 3 terms. So that's the reason I said expansion. How many terms in the expansion when you multiply out the 2 polynomials? Let's see number 5. How many terms in the blue? How many terms in the blue? How many terms in the green? What is the 2 times 3? Okay, your expansion gonna have 6 terms. Let me show you what are the 6 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the expansion gonna have 6 terms. They are the first term in the binomial, multiply each single term in the trinomial, and the second term in the binomial, multiply with each single term in the trinomial. So we have 6 terms. Am I clear? Okay, let's see. 9x multiplied by term 1 in the green. 9x multiplied by term 2 in the green. 9x multiplied by term 3 in the green. That's 3 terms, right? And term 2 in the blue, 7 multiplied by term 1 in the green. 7 multiplied by term 2 in the green. 7 multiplied by term 3 in the green. Those are the 6 terms. So far so good? So far so good? Okay, very good. And you guys help me to simplify each term. Look at the first part. Binomial times binomial, right? Multiply their corresponding parts. Coefficient times coefficient. Verbal parts is a verbal part. What's 9 times 8? X times x squared. X times x squared. X times x squared. Yeah, cube. Awesome, very good. So you have 3x. All right, let's see this part. Monomial times monomial. What's 9 times 3? What's x times x? Let's see this term. 9 times 8. Bring the x, right? Okay, let's see here. 7 times 8. X squared, right? Let's see this term. 7 times 3. 21x. See this term, 7 times 8. 7 times 8. Very good. Okay. You see your expansion can include 6 terms, right? 6 terms. But some of them are like terms you can specify. Okay. Any term is the like term with 72x cubed. That's the only cube, right? And look at square and square. Those 2 terms can be combined, right? Yes or no? And those 2 terms can be combined. And the constant is by itself. When you combine the 2 purples, what do you have? 27x squared, 56x squared. What do you have? Calculator. 83, right, Lauren? Yeah, for the purple, 27 plus 56. 80x squared, right? Blue plus blue, 72 plus 21. What is it? Very good. And then we bring down a constant. Okay? Tell me what's the degree of the blue? Degree of blue. Degree, yeah, 1. What's the degree of the green? Green, 2. So the answer is a degree 3, is a polynomial with degree 3. Okay, we're going to stop here and we're going to cover division of polynomials tomorrow. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.